There are shots, and then there are moments. Moments where the world holds its breath, where time seems to slow down, where the crowd fades, the pressure disappears, and everything comes down to one release, one motion, one flick of the wrist. In those rare defining seconds, greatness isn't measured by flash or flare, but by calm, by stillness, by unshakable precision. It's in those moments that Ray Allen became something more than a basketball player. He became a force of nature. But to understand that shot, the shot that saved a championship and sealed a legacy, you have to go back. Back before the records, before the rings, before the lights. To a quiet kid with a relentless work ethic, a hoop in the driveway and a dream that refused to let go. Before the world knew him as the purest shooter in basketball history, Ray Allen was just a quiet kid from Merced, California. Born on July 20th, 1975, into a disciplined military household, Ray's childhood was shaped by constant movement and rigid structure. His father, a military man, raised him with the kind of discipline that didn't allow for shortcuts or excuses. And his mother, a dedicated educator, taught him the value of education, character, and persistence. That structure, that expectation of excellence, would become the invisible scaffolding that supported every moment of his life. Ray wasn't always the loudest voice on the court, but his game spoke volumes. As a child, he often practiced alone for hours, mimicking the form of great shooters he watched on television. He wasn't trying to be flashy, he was trying to be perfect. That pursuit of perfection was less about fame and more about control, about finding certainty in a life constantly disrupted by relocation and change. In the stillness of repetition, he discovered who he was. By the time Allen reached high school in South Carolina, his talent had become undeniable. A lethal combination of speed, athleticism, and textbook shooting mechanics made him a nightmare for defenders. Coaches marveled at his poise. Teammates watched in awe as he drilled shot after shot without a word. In every practice, he outworked everyone. And in every game, he delivered. His performance earned him a scholarship to the University of Connecticut, an opportunity that would set the stage for his ascent into national stardom. At UConn, Allen wasn't just another player, he was a weapon. Under the leadership of Coach Jim Calhoun, Ray developed not only his scoring ability, but his identity as a student of the game. He averaged nearly 20 points per game, led the Huskies to deep tournament runs, and became known for his precise shooting and icy composure in crunch time. In 1995, Allen hit one of the most iconic shots in NCAA history. An off-balance Georgetown Hoyas in the Big East tournament semifinals. That moment didn't just define a game. It announced to the world that Ray Allen wasn't just great. He was cold-blooded when it mattered most. The NBA took notice. In the 1996 NBA draft, one of the deepest drafts in league history, Ray was selected 5th overall by the Minnesota Timberwolves, but was immediately traded to the Milwaukee Bucks. That trade would spark the beginning of a journey that reshaped the game of basketball. In Milwaukee, Allen quickly made an impression. His rookie year numbers, 13.4 points per game, barely scratched the surface of what he would become. Fans saw the smooth shooting stroke, but what they didn't see were the midnight workouts, the hundreds of free throws after every practice, the hours spent studying defenders' footwork and timing his release to milliseconds. Allen wasn't just gifted, he was obsessed with precision. As his career progressed, Allen elevated not just his own game, but the Bucks franchise. He became a perennial all-star, guiding Milwaukee to multiple playoff runs including a trip to the Eastern Conference Finals in 2001. But even as his legend grew, the team around him failed to match his hunger. Eventually, a trade sent him to Seattle, a move that would push him to reinvent himself again. With the SuperSonics, Allen became a full-fledged superstar. He averaged over 24 points per game and broke records for three-point shooting. Yet in those years, he played largely in the shadows, far from the national spotlight, far from championship contention. But even in isolation, Allen never lost focus. He was quietly building the foundation for something bigger, something history would never forget. That opportunity came in 2007 when Ray Allen joined forces with Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce in Boston. Dubbed the Big Three, the trio immediately turned the Celtics into title contenders. And in 2008, they delivered. Behind Allen's sharp shooting, Garnett's intensity, and Pierce's grit, the Celtics captured their 17th NBA championship. In Game 6 of the finals, Allen knocked down 7 three-pointers, a record at the time, showcasing the brilliance of a man who had long mastered the moment. But Allen's defining moment wasn't in a Celtics jersey. It came in 2013. Now with the Miami Heat, playing alongside LeBron James and Dwyane Wade, Allen found himself in Game 6 of the NBA Finals, down 3 points with seconds left. The Spurs were one rebound away from winning the title. But after a Chris Bosh offensive rebound, Allen backpedaled to the corner, set his feet with impossible balance, and released a shot that would become one of the most iconic in sports history. Swish. Overtime. Series tied. The Heat would go on to win the championship. That shot wasn't luck. It was the result of thousands of hours of preparation, of practicing the same shot from the same spot under imagined pressure again and again. It was the product of every early morning, every drop sweat, every whisper of doubt crushed by repetition. After that, Ray Allen didn't need to prove anything. He had done it all. 2 NBA titles, 10 All-Star appearances, an Olympic gold medal, and the all-time record for three-pointers made. But his legacy wasn't just in the accolades. It was in the blueprint he left behind. Ray Allen was more than a shooter. He was a master of mechanics, of mindfulness, of deliberate growth. While others relied on athleticism or raw power, Allen weaponized precision. He approached every shot like a scientist, breaking it down to angles, feet placement, rhythm, and follow-through. His shooting routine was sacred, his mindset unbreakable. Off the court, Allen's discipline continued. After retiring in 2014, he didn't fade into obscurity. He became an advocate for health, education, and fatherhood. A devoted family man, he spent time raising his 5 children, instilling the same discipline and values that had carried him to greatness. He published a book, From the Outside, detailing his journey, his sacrifices, and the mindset behind the shot that saved a championship. He opened shooting clinics and inspired the next generation to see the beauty in discipline. Young players didn't just want to shoot like Ray Allen. They wanted to train like him, think like him, be like him. His influence lives on in every step-back three-pointer, every corner specialist, every team that prioritizes spacing and perimeter efficiency. The NBA's current obsession with three-point shooting, that's Ray Allen's legacy. Before Steph Curry rewrote the math, Ray Allen laid the foundation. His smooth form, unshakable composure, and tireless dedication showed the world what was possible from beyond the arc. Today, his impact isn't measured in just threes. It's measured in how the game itself has evolved. Coaches build offenses around spacing and movement. Players start honing their three-point shot in grade school. And front offices prioritize shooters who grew up studying Allen's form like scripture. Ray Allen's story is one of mastery, not just of a skill, but of himself. He chased excellence not for applause, but for fulfillment. He didn't need the spotlight. He needed the shot to feel right every single time. In the end, that's what made Ray Allen special. Not just the records or the rings or the roar of the crowd, but the silence before the shot, the calm, the confidence, the certainty, the years of work behind a single release. He wasn't just a shooter, he was the standard, the prototype, the revolution, and his legacy still echoes beyond the arc.